Why are Pakistan's floods so extreme this year? A third of the country is underwater, following an intense heatwave and a long monsoon that has dumped a record amount of rain. With rivers breaking their banks, flash flooding and glacial lakes bursting, Pakistan is experiencing its worst floods this century. At least a third of the country is currently underwater. Scientists say several factors have contributed to the extreme event, which has displaced some 33 million people and killed more than 1,200 people. Researchers say the catastrophe probably started with phenomenal heatwaves. In April and May, temperatures reached above 40 degrees Celsius for prolonged periods in many places. On one sweltering day in May, the city of Jacobabad hit above 51 degrees Celsius. These were not normal heatwaves, they were the worst in the world. We had the hottest place on earth in Pakistan, says Malik Amin Aslam, former Minister for Climate Change, based in Islamabad. Warmer air can hold more moisture in the atmosphere. So meteorologists warned that the extreme temperatures would probably result in, above normal, levels of rain during the country's monsoon season, from July to September, says Zia Hashmi, a water resources engineer at the Global Change Impact Studies Center, in Islamabad, speaking in his personal capacity. Glacial melt. The intense heat also melted glaciers in the northern mountainous regions, increasing the amount of water flowing into tributaries that eventually make their way into the Indus River, says Athar Hussain, a climate scientist at Comsats University Islamabad. The Indus is Pakistan's largest river, which runs the length of the country from north to south, feeding towns, cities and large swaths of agriculture land along the way. It isn't clear exactly how much excess glacial melt has flowed in rivers this year, but Hashmi says he visited some high-altitude glaciated regions in July and noticed high flows and muddy water in the Hunza River, which feeds into the Indus. He says this suggests there has been rapid melting, because fast water displaces sediment as it moves downstream. Several glacial lakes have burst their dams this year, releasing a dangerous rush of water. The heatwaves also coincided with another extraordinary event, a depression, or intense low-pressure system, in the Arabian Sea, which brought heavy rain to Pakistan's coastal provinces as early as June. We rarely have large-scale depression systems arriving there, says Hussain. These unusual features were then exacerbated by the early arrival of the monsoon on the 30th of June, which was wetter generally over a larger region for a very prolonged period of time, says Andrew King, a climate scientist at the University of Melbourne, Australia. The effect is that Pakistan has received almost twice its average annual rainfall. The southern provinces of Sindh and Baluchistan have received 5 times that average. The flooding is all over, says Hashmi. Once on land, much of that water has nowhere to go. More than 110,000 houses, 5,000 kilometers of road, and 240 bridges have been destroyed. In Sindh, an elongated lake has formed, tens of kilometers wide, and more water will continue to pour into it, says Aslam.